I get you,
Go
man.
ahead.
I think you are in. Yeah, you're back in here, man.
Who just came back in?
Yeah, I just seen you. You're here.
Is that Red Pill?
No, that's Cowboy. Cowboy's back in.
Okay, Cowboys.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh
can
yeah,
now.
okay. Yeah, no, I think our society is more gynocentric than we know. I think a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
these like right leaning, right leaning, so called conservative ideologies, they actually serve women. Once,
They and many times can simp a hell of a lot more than your typical garden variety male feminist. Yeah, I know that.
yeah, and so that's kind of how I that's kind of how I look at politics now. It's like, is this good for men or is this not good for men? And just go issue by issue by issue. I'll leave. I'll finish the. I'll wrap it all around. I'll wrap the conversation with this. There's this joke. I just saw it again. It was like some. You both of you probably know it, and if you guys know it, help me with the joke because I can't remember it verbatim. It's like two bulls are on a hill, a young bull and an old bull, and they see all the cows down in the valley, and the young one says, "Let's run down and grab one and screw her." And then what does the old one say? He's like, "No, let's walk down and fuck them all." You guys ever heard that joke?
No.
Trying to. No, I don't think I have.
Oh no, okay. And it's like it's the idea of like it's the concept of like the contrast. Like the young one has this idea of he's coming from this perspective of scarcity, but the old one is like no, there's no scarcity. He has more of an abundance mindset. And so I think that's part of developing an abundance mindset. Have this idea that men, I'm a man, you're a man, we're men. Men should get what they want. What's his name? Psyche Soap, and Red Pill in the Wind. They were talking earlier about like know thyself. No she te ipsum. Know thyself. Well, as a man, you should know yourself. What do men want? Trust me, you want sex. You want sex with young, beautiful women. Now they're saying if you want sex with a woman, you're messed up. You should be gay. Well, why don't you just start having sex with men? They say if you have sex with a woman and she's too young, let's say she's 22 years old. I'm 40. There's people who would call me some sort of like criminal, some sort of pedophile, if I want to have sex with a woman who's 20 or 22 years old. I don't think that makes me a pedophile. But so the point I'm trying to say is there's all these rules, all these extra rules that are put on men. And as I've gotten older, I don't know if I don't know if I agree with a lot of them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's that. Shit. Man. Yeah. That is something odd. But damn, when I look no further than fucking north of me, and it's going on, and the Me Too isms, if I can put it like that, it's not looking too well for Canada. And if we adopt that same model here, you could probably be set up for some really dumbass shit, like asked out of your wallet, asked out of your job, all because you went for a perfectly legal service. I mean, come on. You were in there, or what if you went into that damn brothel and one of the chicks you weren't interested in, but she was interested in you.
So you bring up a good example. Okay, you bring up a good example. Canada is a perfect example. Canada is a perfect example of what you could call like an anti-male law. The national law in Canada is it's not illegal to sell sex, but it is illegal to buy sex. So even though the man and the woman are engaging in the buying and selling of sex, the woman is not criminalized or pathologized, but the man,
buyer is,
in contrast, because he's the buyer, all of a sudden he's considered the bad guy. He's literally legally pathologized and criminalized. But why should you be pathologized? It's normal for the man to want sex.
At the risk of cutting off one half of a transaction in an economy that they've allowed. Weird, ain't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, when you really get into when you really get into this, I've become convinced. Um, our society, in so many ways, is formatted to let women off easy on everything, and to just double tap the man, to fuck him over, just fucking in Spanish, pinchado, pinchado, jodido. Jodido means screwed. Pinchado means crimped. Like when you put a piece of metal on a soda pop bottle, how it crimps it down. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You can't.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like the man is just, oh, he's so like held down. He's enslaved. This is just slavery. Men are in a state of slavery, but they don't even see it. We're just told all these rules. Oh, you gotta be a good guy. No, don't be a fucking good guy. Being a good guy is being a slave. Women should be treating us better.
Sure.
Yeah. Although running the risk of that further crimping process that you're talking about.
Yeah. My father was born in Mexico. My father always taught me that verb, fichado. Or like my father was a cop. My father was a Chicago cop. Another term he would use is, Joe, you don't want to get, or my name is Joe. He would say, Joe, you don't want to get jammed up. He would use that all the time, and I know what that means. You guys know what that means?
I can't say what I did, bro.
Yeah.
A police officer can threaten you and say, "Hey, you don't want me to jam you up." He's saying he's going to fuck you up. He's going to use lawfare against you. He's going to put a case on you. You're going to go into court. You're going to hire a fucking lawyer. You're going to have a caseworker. Lots of fucking trouble. It's just so don't get jammed up. Don't get fucked over. In Spanish.
That's the danger of it all, though, cowboy. This is what I was trying to tell you. There is the propensity to get jammed up into these situations when you do go out there and put it out there. Now, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to do. Hell, I mean, at times I was like, yeah, I would like to try this shit out. Though it being that it's in its embryo stage, not even in its infancy yet here in America. And you see how it's working out in Canada. But, the way you're working it out, hey, yo, man, do you? You know what I'm saying? But, and then there's another homie of mine that I check out every now and again that is also a trucker and also does what you're doing, which is kind of cool. Kind of crazy also, but I'm like, that's not my groove. Because I don't go around picking up women. Mm-hmm. But I tell you what, though, if that law was legal right there and they had if there was a brothel on every block, just like their dispensaries nowadays, you best fucking believe I'll at least try it once.
I got a question for both of you then.
What's up?
What's stopping these prostitutes from me tooing both of you?
You got that right. And jamming you up. Getting you jammed up.
See, the thing about it is you've got to use a little common sense when you're out here fucking around with these. And I'm not saying either one of you are doing it. I'm just saying, in general, a man has got to use a little forward thinking at times to kind of see the situation ahead of time. Like, hey, maybe messing with these prostitutes ain't such a good idea. I mean, we still are in the Me Too era.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. So my response to that, my answer to that would be, you're right. You're actually 100% right. There is a certain level of risk that you take when you engage with a woman carnally. So what I would say to that is, yes, no matter what, you run the risk. However, there are different types of women. There are some women who are more likely to do that to you than others. So what that means is you have to, I know this sounds bad to say, but it's true. I have found it to be true. You have to properly vet the woman.
I agree with that.
For example, have been going with this one woman for, I think I've known her for 11 years now, at least 10 years. In these 10 years, she's never Me Too'd me. Could she do it tomorrow? Yeah. Is she going to do it? I don't think so. But there are other girls who probably would after just a couple dates. I know what you're saying, and you're right. You're not wrong. You're right. You're absolutely right. There is risk. There is risk. I think your essential message is there is risk, so don't engage. My central message is yes, there's risk, but you can mitigate the amount of risk that you take if you do it in a way that's smart, and you should do it because
engage with caution.
Engage with caution, but it's natural as a man to want women, or you can crawl under a rock. It's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, outlaw. You're right. I mean, we could all just crawl under a rock and it's safe there. But no, man.
Or you could be right too. Let's get them out here in this minefield and start walking a lot of these landmines and take that risk.
Here's the thing, and again, men are perfectly within their rights to do whatever they want to do. I mean, I don't argue that a man shouldn't do. I'm just saying, look at the risks. Internalize the risks. I don't take the gamble. I just don't gamble like that.
And it is your choice not to.
Right.
Respect. Real shit. And it also on your end there, cowboy, respect. If you gonna go out there on that damn minefield, hey, and you have seen, and I'm pretty sure that you have seen in your experience some pitfalls that that probably could have befelled you but didn't happen to you, but could have happened to you, but you were able to avoid it because you probably had seen how it could go wrong. And so vetting, as you had spoke on earlier, vetting that particular female about, that you're deciding to get together with. And that's cool.
Sure. Let me give you an example. I love using examples.
Yeah.
Okay, so
all right.
I have an uncle. His name is Joe as well. So my name is Joe. His name is Joe. Now, in his particular
Joe's here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In his particular case, I do not condone what he did. He would frequent prostitutes also. There were several times, maybe 2 or 3 times that I know of, when I was a kid, I was in high school, I vividly remember. It's late at night, it's like maybe a Saturday, I don't know, 9 or 10 p.m. I got a knock at the door, it's the police. And the police, Chicago police are like, hey, Joe, go wake up your dad. My dad's upstairs sleeping. And my dad's a cop. I go wake up my dad. And my dad's like, son, why are you waking me? I gotta work in the morning. I say, Dad, the police are at the door. And he knows right away something's fucked up. Well, guess what? My Uncle Joe is in the back seat of the police car. You know why? Because he keeps picking up prostitutes. See? Because he's married, I don't condone that behavior because he's married. Okay, number one. But number two, why is it that I have picked up escorts, if you will, and I've never gotten caught? But he's been picked up by the police multiple times. 2 or 3 times that I know of. 2 or 3 times that I know of that he's been caught. If he's been caught 2 or 3 times, how many other times were there where he got caught that I don't know about? How many, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, I understand what you guys are saying. There is risk inherent into living life. But either you're going to knuckle under like a good slave or you're not. I make the decision that, you know what? If you're smart enough and you're brazen enough, you can get what you want, and you should. I start with the premise that men should get what they want. And I go from there. But like I said, anyone can just say, you know what, it's too dangerous. I'm gonna crawl under a rock. I'm gonna knuckle under. I'm gonna accept this, and then I'll just accept it.
Hey man, but when you do take that but when you do take that right there, that what you had just said right here, right? If you go on that and see them as crawling under a rock, that's kind of disrespecting their experience.
I understand what you're saying. No,
Let
it makes
those
me
guys
cry. It makes me angry. It makes me want to cry. The way I see it is
that's not you though.
The modern man is we're in a state of bondage. This is slavery. I like to think I think one of the best ways I've heard it is we are on an electronic plantation, or what's his name? Infinium, Mgtow Infinium. He calls it the what's it called? The feminist plantation state. That's what he calls it.
Mm-hmm. We're in it, and that's why I brought up the risk. You know what I'm saying? That is the risk, bro.
Well, what I would say to that is accept the risk, and then just try to be real slick. That's in so many ways. In so many ways, that's what I think is the problem. That's what's wrong with men. We need to become slick. We need to become much more sophisticated. But that's the problem. That's why good fucking loses most of the time, because good is dumb. Bad people, dude, they literally sit around all day and think about how to fucking cheat, how to fuck us over. But good people are like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be good. And I'm going to go to work, and while these people are just thinking
and
about.
Then may I add, you got that one in the middle that's usually called an anti-hero, kind of like that Unnamed Man in the Fistful of Dollars trilogy. And you know what I'm saying? They're able to sail through all of that shit.
That's what that is. That's my message. That is the core of my message. Become the anti-hero. I can't put it any better than that. It's the anti-hero. It's like what's his name? It's like Clint Eastwood in like half of his movies.
Yep.
It's hard to call him,
especially in the Dollars trilogy. Especially
yeah. For a few dollars more. Yeah. High Plains Drifter is he even a good guy? You could argue he's the bad guy. Or like, if you ever heard or if you've ever seen the movie Two Mules for Sister Sarah, he doesn't give a fuck about like the French or the Mexicans. He wants money. He knows the system is corrupt. And you got this dumb bitch who's like, don't you want to marry me? Or you don't want to get married? And she's pretending that she's like a monja. She's pretending she's what's that called? A monja in English is a nun. She's pretending that she's a nun, but really she's just a skank. She's a prostitute. And the whole time she's like trying to fucking civilize his ass. Yeah, no, it's a scam. I'm telling you, man. All this feminism is a fucking scam, dude. You guys should embrace androcentrism. And part of that is accepting the fact that prostitution should be legal and men should get what they want.
All right, man. Well, yeah, now I'm starting to see why you are called Mgtow Cowboy, right? Well, coming to the end of this right here, I might see if Flanders is still around or whatnot, and